All right. Am I supposed to be saying something? No? Okay. Hello. Happy Friday. How about I need to turn this down?
I was going to say, is that your phone?
Yep. I still haven't learned my lesson after almost 4 months of doing this.
All
Come on in,
right,
y'all.
yes.
Welcome to the Diva Den. Hello. I'm your girl, Rose Godlock. And I got my girl, Bernadette Bronner. I call her Bernie.
Yes.
Hi, Bernie.
Hi.
Welcome to the Diva Den.
All right, I'm glad to be here.
Welcome, everybody. As you are coming on in, please do us a favor and hit that share button. Share the live, share the love. We got a good one tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put my phone up here, get all situated. So come on in. Hello, Stella. Hey, Ludrine. How y'all doing?
Put my glasses on so I can see.
I know, right? And every week I'm legitimately like, should I do my contacts? Should I do my glasses? So if I need to read, I can't have my contacts on because everything is super close and blurry. So we're going to give everybody just a quick couple of seconds to come on in. Thank you for carving time out of your busy schedules. We know how the week goes, and it's Friday night, and sometimes you just want to kick back and chill. So I do not take it for granted that people come in and share this hour with us.
Yes.
So I am super excited. We got our producer over here off camera tonight. Good evening, producer. Okay. Well, producer says hi, but her mic isn't on.
She's so cute.
I know she is kind of cute, isn't she? Hey, Chastity. She's a little cute, but I really try not to tell her that. Yeah. All right. So I'm ready to jump on into it because I know we were already saying how this time goes by like really quickly. So I just want us to jump on into it. So Lord bless our time tonight.
Yes.
Bless everybody coming in. Have your way in the Diva Den tonight. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So if you're just coming in, I'm your girl, Rose Godlock. This is my girl, Bernadette Bernie Bronner.
Yes.
And we go all the way back.
Back
To Northeast DC,
yes,
to none other than McKinley
Tech is in the
Senior
house.
High School class of that's our year. We have a big milestone coming up next year, and we were just talking about that. We cannot believe that we've been out of school this many years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
now
gosh.
I started 9th. Did you come in 10th?
I came in at 10th.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I have a hard time remembering because it was only that one class that we started in the 9th grade. And so I'm like, okay, now when did this person come in and when did this person come in?
Right.
So it doesn't matter because it's been like 10 minutes. So,
exactly.
Just
That's
10 minutes.
it.
We
Just 10
graduated 10 minutes ago. So tonight I brought Bernie in because we had a previous conversation, well, several conversations. We do that, we have check-ins or we get caught up, we're apart. Then when we get caught up, it's kind of like, oh, what's going on in your world? Girl, I'm doing this and what about this? And trying to support one another. And we were going to be talking about being empowered.
Right.
Or we are going to talk about being empowered to grow.
Right.
And where that stems from is, we get ideas and we have thoughts and we have projects and we have visions and things that we want to do. But how do we really get that empowerment to take those first steps?
Right.
Sometimes you gotta do baby steps, and then sometimes you just gotta jump in there with both feet. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm just in there.
Exactly.
And so tonight, I told Bernie I'm so proud of her because over the years, I've seen you take off. And like I said a few minutes ago, on the inside, there's a whole lot going on, and that behind the scenes and behind closed doors. But what we get is the success of it all, and even if you're still learning, even if you're still trying to figure it out, you're doing it. And so I saw a lot of growth. I have seen a lot of growth in the past couple of years, and we had that conversation. And I was like, you know what? Bernie would be a great person to bring into the Diva Den. So thank you, because it was a last minute invitation. Like, I've wanted you to come in for a while. And this month has just been kind of, we call it Freedom Friday, because we just are kind of doing whatever this month. But it's summertime, we just letting our hair hang down.
Yes. Ooh, I love this.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself. You can tell our family anything you want them to know about you.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Rosita, for inviting me into the Divas Den.
You're welcome. That's my government name, y'all. Yeah, that's how far back we go. I wasn't Rose in high school.
Exactly. And I think I may be the only one still calling you Rosita.
And Renee.
Okay. So
might be a couple of others.
Yes. So I'll call her Rosita. We've actually, Rosita and I in high school started off in the 10th grade hanging out with one another. And then Renee and Rose started hanging out. So we really been together.
Riding the bus together and everything. Because I was way cross town. Y'all were kind of midway. It was like we got on the bus together and then we dropped off people along the way. So by the time I got to Southeast from Northeast, I was like one of maybe 2 people left. And some days there was nobody left. So I enjoyed the company for as long as I could have, on the bus.
Well, I am Bernadette Bernie Bronner, as Rose has already stated, and I am the CEO and founder of BB Coaching and Consulting. I am a certified life coach, and I help women, empower women through personal development coaching. And recently, I have been changing my model, and I'm changing it more so to fit I learned that I need to be more specific in what I offer in my services. So what I'm going to focus on now is financial literacy and financial management. So I'm going to give women tools and strategies to keep their budget and their finances in order, because a lot of times we find ourselves as the person responsible for the finances in our family. Now, there are some men that take on this role, but a lot of times it's the women. And so I want to help women and empower them in that aspect. So I'm working on changing my business model, changing BB Coaching to focus more on finances, because I want to make sure you are right. And that's in the areas of budgeting. So we're going to go back to the basics of teaching them how to budget. I've been getting a lot of people asking me if I can help them build a budget. And I was there before when I was afraid to do my budget, and I'm making nice money, but I'm doing whatever I want with my money. Right. So it's time to, it's time out for that.
Okay.
Right. So I believe I have the experience to help them get to their next level and not be afraid of facing their financial giant, and helping them with their credit scores and teaching them how to, pay your bills on time. So
awesome.
That's the direction I'm going in right now. And I'm also I want to empower women through workshops. So I'm going to be having a lot of those.
Okay.
In fact, I have one tomorrow.
You do?
Yes.
Well, and so we don't forget, why don't you tell us about it?
Okay. So tomorrow I'm having a workshop on who's guarding your mindset. And I want to start with that first workshop because it all starts in our mind.
Yes.
And so if I can help a person, get out of their way and change the way that they think, then I have accomplished something. So I have partnered with a friend, one of the co-hosts or contributing hosts on the radio show I'm a part of, Allison Daniels, and she's going to come on and give 7 keys or steps to changing your mindset.
Okay. Right. Oh, that's going to be good stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Did you talk about she?
I didn't. I did not mention she. I'm also the founder of Sisters Helping Empower Each Other. That is a nonprofit organization that gives back to the community, and we do a lot with. We partner with a lot of other organizations. For example, we just provided 60 meals for the homeless people. A friend of mine, Amy Mosley, has her nonprofit organization, Each One Feed One.
Okay.
And 5th Sunday, she goes and feeds them supper. in the
Oh,
park.
wow. Oh, wow.
And so we were able to provide the to-go meals for them.
Okay.
And so while they were able to have a nice dinner that Sunday, on Fifth Sunday, then they also were able to take away a bag that had a breakfast treat,
awesome.
and fruit and something for them to take with them on the way. So we do a lot of community work. We have an upcoming backpack campaign. So we give back to the communities by giving school supplies, backpacks, volunteering to help the homeless. I also had a plus size coat drive last December. So we try to help the needy as much as we can.
Okay, that is awesome. Hello, everybody coming in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Diva Den. And please don't forget to hit that share button. Just do us a little tiny favor. Share the live, share the love, and just jump on in the conversation. We want you all to be a part of it. So feel free to drop your questions or comments into the box. So when we look at being empowered to grow. One thing that I know about you love learning.
Yes.
And so, over the years, I have seen you tackle class after class after class after class. And this is professionally, spiritually, personally. Bernie is always learning. And so I'm like, okay, well, after a while, it was like, okay, well, what you gonna be doing with all of this stuff? Like, you're taking all of this stuff in.
Right.
Well, are you gonna give some of it back, to the people? Are you gonna share with us all of this stuff that you take in? But timing is key.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes I think when we talk about, timing is key, there's a season, everything happens when it's supposed to happen. I think sometimes we might use that as an excuse to not step out there, because I'm sure in that journey you were getting ideas. I'm sure there were things that you knew that God was telling you to do and to move on, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do it. Oh, well, somebody else is already doing that, or who's going to listen to me, or I may not have thus and such behind me, or behind my name, or in front of my name. We get hung up on titles and all of that. And so when did you get to a place where enough was enough? Not that you won't continue to learn, but maybe just, I'm taking all of this in and I'm just keeping it for me. Was there a moment when you decided, you know what, let me start pouring out and sharing this knowledge?
Absolutely. So, and you said it key. Every time I took a class at work, God was pouring into me something that I can take from that class for my business. And I mean, like you said, I kept getting it all in. I'm in taking it all in, and I was like, when am I going to share this? But what happened was I was afraid. I was stuck in afraid mode. And so I, like you said, I didn't think, I was like, who's going to listen to me? So then one day I just decided, and I had been praying and praying and praying. And I woke up and I said, you know what? I just have to do it. And I'm going to do it afraid. And I didn't have all the answers because I'm so analytical and I want everything to match up. I thought I was supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in order.
Okay.
And in order for me to even begin. And that's not always true. And so if I heard the Lord was like, if you take one step, I'll take the next step for you. So once I jumped out there and said, I'm just gonna do it, and then I might fail. Okay.
So what was that first big thing that you felt like you couldn't do and you didn't move on it, initially? Like it took you some time to kind of launch out there.
So what kept me bound as well, my first thing I did was when I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to help someone. But when I started She in 2014,
it's been 5 years?
It's been 5 years.
Congratulations.
Come September. And so what I was afraid of is the lack of support from my family and my friends.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I kept saying, oh my goodness, no one's going to support me and no one's going to be there for me. And I kept relying just on that circle of people. And it wasn't until I got a coach. And my first coach is Daphne Valson. She is heaven sent. And I met her in a different circle of friends. One of my friends, we get together quarterly or monthly with a bunch of women, and we go out, hang out, and have fun after work. And Daphne coached me, and she helped me so much to get past that. It's so many other people out here that can support you outside of your family and friends.
Definitely.
But the wonderful thing is, when I started I had so much support, and they came, and people came and helped, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think they was going to show up. So taking that initial step, even though I didn't feel I had the right backing or everyone there for me, was really big. And I just was like, all right, I have to trust God, because he keep pushing me. And so one day I just sat down and wrote it all out.
Okay.
The
word says write the vision.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite scriptures. And that is the scripture for Habakkuk 2:2, right? And so I kept feeling a knot, and I was like, I can't. It's like you know how you doing double dutch?
Right.
You trying to jump in.
Okay,
so,
wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute, girl. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
Wait
trying
a minute.
to get that timing right.
Yes.
And so I just was like, you know what? And then I would get mad because some of my concepts or my thoughts I would see someone else doing. And so you have to really move, because he gave it to you. He's not going to always give you a second chance to do it again.
That's right. Sometimes you snooze and you might lose. Yeah.
Exactly. So the opportunity presented itself, and I just said, I'm just going to do it afraid. And I was like, God, you got me. What if I fall? You got me. So
that was one of my bullets I had on here. Do it afraid.
Yes, we have to. And I'm still doing it afraid. I still don't have, because now I'm trying to build BB coaching and consulting. And so I don't have all the answers.
You are building, not trying
I
to
am building. Thank you. See, we have to
building.
watch our words. See, and we have to have people that's accountable to help us. Love that sisterhood.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So I'm building BB coaching and consulting in its infancy stages, but I'm getting a wealth of information from, I've connected with different networking groups, and that's helping me, and now it's time to apply those things. And just taking the time to sit there and do it.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, one of the things that you touched on was that support. We have to support one another.
We do.
But then we have to also be okay with not receiving the support from those that you think or you assume.
Expect.
Okay, well, they're in my corner. They're already, in my circle. Surely I'm going to have their support. Well, that support may not come from who's right here.
Yes.
God may have other people out there. But if you don't put yourself out there, you'll never know.
Exactly.
And so we have to be open. We have to be vulnerable. And we have to really trust him.
Yes.
For those that are walking with the Lord, we can't believe him for some things and not believe him for everything. So we can't have, this line of, okay, well, everything over here I'm going to trust him with, but okay, well, it comes to this, now I'm going to start doubting.
Right.
Well, if he's done it before, he can do it again.
Exactly.
He already knows the plan that he has for us. He knew that you were going to be afraid. He knew that there were going to be things that you wanted to do that you might not move on. And it's like he knew he was going to have to keep, giving you that nudge, like, okay, I'm here. I'm telling you to go ahead and do it. I'm speaking in your ear. And so sometimes, that support may come from the unexpected.
Yes.
But embrace it and receive it.
Exactly.
We can't be so, big-headed and stubborn that we're like, oh, I'm good. No, I'll figure it out. No, I got it. Well, then you're stressed and you're overwhelmed and you're like, you know what? Just forget it.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it. I can't figure it out. There's nobody to help me. Okay, well, maybe you have these people over here that are lined up wanting to help you, but you're not accepting the help, or you're not going out asking for the help.
Exactly.
Women, I'm just talking to you.
Yes,
I'm just saying, we just
it.
here chit-chatting.
Say it. It's that pride thing.
We talk about men with the whole pride and ego thing. Honey, baby, child, we have it too.
Yes,
we suffer from that
really
too.
bad.
I don't need anybody. I think we talked about that on the show previously. I can do it all by myself. I don't need anybody's help. Well, where has that gotten you? How's that working out for you? And so sometimes you do have to swallow your pride and say, you know what? Yes, I'm good enough, and I know what God has told me to do, and I know He's placed what I need in me to do it. But sometimes it's He's giving you inside of you what you need for your part, what you're going to bring to the table. But then there are other people that He will put in your path that will bring the other components of what you need. You know, no one person has everything. Single thing. We don't have all the answers. And sometimes when you start something, you are still going to be figuring it out as you go along. Like the Diva Den. You know, I didn't plan this week like I should have. And so, you know, that grace and mercy shows up that He said will follow you all the days of your life. Some grace was extended, some mercy was extended, and here you are. Because I literally was like, I don't know, just in this fog or something this week. Like, I completely forgot that Friday was coming. And maybe I thought I was on vacation or something. I don't know.
Happens.
Well, we are taking just a little road trip this weekend, just Saturday and Sunday. But maybe I was focused on that. And, you know, just life. Life happens. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my producer will normally say, okay, well, what's going on this week? You know, who's coming in? And are you ready for the show?
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't get that. I didn't get that reminder.
Oh my goodness.
How about that? Y'all pray for my producer, who may or may not be in the room. I feel a lot of heat over here on this side of my neck. You know, there's somebody breathing fire. So I'm getting a kick out of this because the producer cannot, you know, talk tonight. She's able to. But, you know, with the Diva Den, that was probably one of, I would say before the Diva Den, one of the things or one of the areas for me was confidence in public speaking. You know, being married to a pastor, it's what he does for a living. And you sometimes have to combat what people are thinking. And there's the comparison game. You know, you really have to be careful when it comes to comparing yourself to other people. Now, thankfully, I didn't stay in that place too long because I already knew who I was and what God has put in me. And so I'm not really one to compare myself. You know, there was a little bit of that, you know, well, I admired this one or that one, or, oh, she preaches, or, you know, she's ordained, or she's a co-pastor, or she's an elder, or she's a this or that. And it's like, girl, what are you tripping about? Do what God has called you to do. The only person I know how to be is Rose Godlock. So if I get up there and I stumble and bumble and, you know, I don't say the right thing, or I might forget the text or, you know, whatever. And I'm like, child, y'all, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, you know, and I just keep it moving. Tell a joke, crack a joke. And so sometimes for me, it was like, okay, you know what, you can do this. And having people, you know, in your corner is key. And I'm thankful that I do have, you know, that support, but it's still intimidating. You know, when you go from sitting out here to standing up there before the people, oh my gosh, it's like, wow, hey. Y'all
and the faces and just to piggyback off of Rose, that comparison thing is very dangerous. And I believe that's what stunt a lot of people from moving. That stops them from moving forward. And you made a very good point as well. You have to know who you are, and God gave you your gifts.
Yes, and they're all mine. They're all yours. Yes. They're all yours. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Patrice.
So, you know, I can't say hello because I don't have my glasses on, trying to be cute.
Hey, Tasha. If I missed anybody, Kim, hey. Take a bow. Hey.
Oh, hey, Alicia. Let me put my glasses on.
Yeah, so you can say hi to your people. If you're coming on in, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Diva Den. Please hit that share button, share the live, share the love, and jump in and be a part of the conversation by dropping your question or comment in that little box.
Yes. So, in comparison, and with comparison, you trying to live up to someone else's expectations or dreams, or trying to mimic yourself. It's okay for us to emulate someone.
Exactly.
But you have to be careful. That's a thin line. You cannot compare yourself.
Ooh.
But the thing is, well, I love and admire people. I want to emulate them, but I still have to do it the way God has given it to me, right? And so we learn from them and how to maneuver in certain situations. But
yeah, you can take notes,
yes,
but you cannot morph yourself into that person that you're comparing yourself against, and you don't know their whole story all the time.
And how they
get
there.
the version of people that they want us to have, and I learned that a long time ago. I used to be envious, of certain people in my life because I thought they had it all together, and financially, oh, I wish I were able to do this and that and make these kind of moves. Well, after a while, when you start spending time with people or certain things are revealed, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, so everything is not actually all peaches and cream, Exactly. And I always say, you think the grass is greener on the other side, but then you get over there and it might be concrete. They may not even have any grass, or their grass could be dead, or it's artificial grass.
Exactly.
It's fake. And so I really had to work very hard and really pray about the comparison thing, and just accept my life for what it was and for where God had me, in that particular season in my life. And it still has the threat of happening sometimes. You look at your circumstances and then you look across the street, or next to you or whatever, and it's like, I wish I was able to do, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And in some cases, it's like, well, why can't you? Right. They're not the only ones that can do, what they're doing, or you have to find that thing that you were put here to do.
That's right.
And so please don't compare yourself. Now, I do also believe in connecting yourself, with people that have something that you have a desire to have, or that you have a need of. But we still have to be careful. So I think mentors are great. I think accountability partners are great, and just linking up, asking questions, so I see things in you. So as I'm progressing through the season that I'm in, I know there are things that you've been through that you're going to be able to help me. So I may pick up that phone sometime and I'm like, Bernie, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. How did you work past this or that? And so we have to help one another out. We have to be there for each other. And so another thing that we kind of sort of, touched on is that building of the network.
Right.
So how have you been able to build your network?
So the wonderful thing is God has placed people in my life that has exposed me to a different industry. And so I met, it was one of my friends, Ludreen. We met through a mutual friend. And then we, she shared her community with me. So then each person, as you meet people, they link you to another community of folks, and then you start growing. And then you remember when you had Sherwood? No one, Ladrine didn't know this, but how much I love Sherwood, right? So when she came, when your church had her come to one of your women's fellowship, I would think I was the first person to sign up. I was like, oh my God, I love her. I was following her on social media.
Right.
So, and when she came, it was so good to be able to be in her presence, because I've been following her and watching her, and so then Ladrine linked me up with her as well. And so between you and Ladrine, it was like a dream come true for me. You ever wanted to meet someone and you finally get to meet them?
Yeah.
And then I took some of her classes. So that's how I was able to, I've learned so much from her in a short span of time. And the two, like I said, she's one of my coaches, and so is Daphne Vaccine. Daphne helped me get over that people pleasing, that thinking I need just this support system.
Right.
She helped me map out my business. It's just really good. So being in, I believe we all are pieces of a puzzle.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay? And I remember at in 2016, my nonprofit had a empowerment summit, and it says she's got a story, her story empowerment summit, and we did an exercise with the ladies where you had to see who was the first table to put a puzzle together.
Oh, I would have lost. I really
but
puzzles. That was my mother's thing.
My mother's too.
I don't have the patience. Sanguines. We're just like, okay,
That's
look,
me. That's
sitting
me.
here for how long,
Exactly.
trying to put all the little pieces,
together.
and then for me as being a part of the puzzle,
Yes.
I'm that one that's just not gonna fit.
Exactly.
And you just end up throwing it away. Like, look, nobody has time to be messing with you, trying to get you to follow instructions and play by the rules, because I'm always going to be the wild card 9 times out of 10. So
me.
I'm the piece that y'all just going, like, you know what, girl, nobody has time for you.
But what I love in that observation, because it goes to your point, as we have to help one another, and we all need one another. We all fit. So each side of that puzzle, you had, in order for it to build, it was a 5x7 puzzle. Each piece, someone needed, they was like, can you find this? And it's just like with us. You have something, I have something. We all need one another to make this puzzle complete.
So don't y'all give up on me. I already told y'all I'm that piece that is just not going to fit in. You got to work it and turn it and wait a minute. Okay, why is this not lining up? And so don't give up on me. Y'all just keep working at that puzzle and get me in there, fitted in the way I'm supposed to be.
And we think differently.
Yes.
And so, and a lot of times with that, some people think something wrong with me because my mind is not in the same space as others, but it's just that God has given me a different view. That's what I like.
Right.
And so, but yeah, we need one another. We need that. We need to make sure we connect. And so getting in different networks has helped me grow and learn. And personally, that's why I love personal development, because I'm the main one. You said it. I love learning. So if I'm not learning personally,
you're like a professional, lifelong student.
Learner. Yeah, remember you used to talk
and there's
about
nothing wrong with that.
But I remember hearing you say, "You still in school again? You and Renee, y'all the only two that go to school all the time." But that's who I am. But it's good, and like she said, we have to share that knowledge. Right. So that's why I am now.
Don't just keep soaking it all in, sitting on it, taking it in for yourself. We should be taking things in. Everything that we go through is really for somebody else.
Exactly.
Because you don't know when God is going to put you in that place where what you have, you can share with somebody else. Something that you've been through, you can speak a word to them. You can have a word for somebody in due season. And so when it comes for that time for that conversation to be had, it's like, wait a minute, I can help with this situation, either because of something that you've learned, by a class or something like that, some kind of training, or life experiences. And so we have to get to a place where we are sharing some of the things that we've been through. And so part of that is just taking the plunge, because I'm sure when it was time for you to set up those fears, those conversations that nobody probably heard, that are on the inside, in those quiet moments where it's like, okay, what am I doing? Why would I think that I can pull this off? Is anybody going to listen to me? Okay, I'm going to set this up. Is anybody going to come? And I remember one of those, I'm thinking it was last summer, and it was like, well, I don't know if anybody's going to be here or not, but I'm just going to do it. And no, I think it was in June, because I was trying to come, and I said, well, let me know what you're going to do. Well, nobody's really signed up, and I don't know if they're going to come or not. And then you had it, and somebody did show up. So stop talking yourself out of your success. Stop talking yourself out of the possibilities. We have to pursue the possibilities. And if you have the thing and nobody shows up, it's okay. Try again. We have to keep striving and trying and growing and not accepting no.
You know what else? That just recently happened to me. And the thing is, we view failure wrong, I think. And we view it as, oh my gosh, I failed. I can't do this.
Yeah, it's the end of the world. It's the end
but it's not. Actually, you learn a lot from failure.
Right.
And you have to go back. If something didn't work, you have to go back and look it over. And see where you went wrong.
Pick it apart
and say, like, what happened to me? So my daughter was like, okay, Mom, let's sit down. Let's do this. Did you market it right? I don't think you marketed it right.
Okay.
Did you do this? Did you do that? And so with us going through the steps, it helped me say, okay, I need to do something differently. And so I believe, and Walt Disney, I didn't write this down, but he talks about that.
Yes. All the no's. Yes.
Michael Jordan. It's so many successful people.
Yep. Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry.
Talk about
all kinds
their
of people.
failures, but it propelled them to where they are now.
Right.
And so what I have come to the resolution is I'm never going to give up. I don't care how hard it is. I'm never going to stop. Because if God gave this to me, then it's up to me to nurture and grow and execute it. So,
right.
And it's in His timing. It's not in mine. A lot of times, and sometimes I am like a 2-year-old. I want it now.
Yeah, we do. And the world is instant gratification.
Yes.
Everything is right now. We don't want to wait for anything.
Don't want to wait for anything, and that's not always the case. But I've learned in my waiting season that it could be the best thing for you. So we have to sometimes wait. And back to sharing the story, I shared this with Rose earlier today. And when I went down to Atlanta the beginning of this month, I shared my story about a young lady. I wasn't going to share this story because everyone was starting to leave. There wasn't that many people in there. And so I was speaking to some young women about my workshop was made with love, and I was teaching them about self-love.
Wow.
And so I came across, it came a point in time where I finished my Made with Love, connected it to problem solving, college, picking your right college, also connecting with other people and women. And then I was going to end it. And then I heard the Lord speak and say, share your story. And the story He wanted me to share was a story of how a difficult time I had when my daughter went away from college. Well, when I sent her away 4 years ago, she was my baby. But when she came back, I didn't know who she was. Right?
A whole entire
I didn't know person. That girl. She was grown. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm just
and we don't want to admit that. We
that's,
see it, and it's like, I'm not going to say that out of my mouth.
Yeah, she's grown. So she's evolved into this young woman. She was 18 when she left, and she was 22 when she came back. And I was like, who are you? I don't know you anymore. And I'm crying like she didn't want to do our mother-daughter things anymore.
Wow.
We had mother-daughter dates, and she didn't want to talk to me. All she did was looked in her phone, looked at videos, talked to her friends. I was like, hey, me, I'm right here.
Right. So, hello.
Anyway, I shared the story. Now I'll make it short. And I was telling how we were on the outs. And I mentioned my daughter's name. I was like, and Michaela, she didn't want to be around me. And a young lady sat up. And I was like, what's wrong? She said her name was Michaela. And so, I told the story how last year where we started off in rough beginnings, and it's taken really a whole year for us to get back to almost where we were before she went to college.
Wow.
And I remember her, she would come in the house, she'd be like, hey mom, and just go on downstairs. And so this particular moment, she came in and she gave me a kiss, and I was like, whoa, I said, she's back. Right. It's like, God, my baby back. I was like, you gave me a kiss? Yeah, what's wrong? Then she like looking at me, what's wrong?
Because it's no big deal to her, right. It's
so at the end of the conference, the young lady ran over to my table, and she wanted to know how the relationship between me and Michaela was today. Did y'all reconcile? Are y'all together? So she kept going on, and I explained to her that we back to in good terms. And I asked her, she told me her story where she and her mom was on the outs. And then she said, but y'all got it together, right? Y'all got it together. And then I said to her, gave her some pointers about how she and her mom could get back on good terms. And then I said, do you need a mommy hug? And she said, yes. And I gave her a hug, and she hugged me so tight. Oh my gosh. And I was like, she misses her mom.
Right.
She misses her mom. But what I loved is that she was receptive of it. And then I also watched when she left, while I was helping the lady clean up, the whole time she wasn't really smiling. She didn't seem like she wanted to be there. But then she was outside. She started taking her selfie. She looked like she had gotten hope and life again.
I was going to say, you gave her hope.
Yes.
And that's what we have to do.
Yes.
You know, the word says that we have to be light, you know, in a dark world. We have to give hope. There are so many people, all different ages, our young people, my Lord.
Oh, yes.
But even those that are not, you know, so young,
Yes.
need hope.
They need
A
hope.
lot of people feel hopeless and they feel helpless. And so for you being obedient
Yes. Oh, my
and
gosh.
sharing that story encouraged her, empowered her, and gave her hope. And you could see that there was a
Yes,
difference,
there was a difference.
of how we should go out better
Yes.
than the way we came
Amen.
in.
And I'm mentoring the young lady right now.
That's awesome.
We have connected. We talk, and like every week we've been going back and forth via text, and she's following me on Instagram, and she's like, Miss Bronner, thank you so much. And she said she'd give me one of her problems. I'll tell her, you give her an answer. She said, you helped me so much, thanks, I calmed down. So she's in the 11th grade going to the 12th grade.
Ooh, crucial time.
Yes, very crucial. So I'm just thankful, you know, just to be obedient to what he's saying to you and know your lane. I know I'm here to help and give people hope and empower women, whether they're young or older.
Right. Absolutely. And you know, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort
Yeah,
zone.
that was very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
I never did a proposal. I was telling Ladrine, I was like, I never did this before. But Sherwood had given us, we in this Impact Nation group, she had given us a lead. And I did it. I turned in a proposal. I got turned down the first time. And then the second time, I got a notice they selected me. So I was so excited. I paid my own way. You know, it's a nonprofit organization, but it was the best thing I could have ever done. So
Wow.
It was great.
Wow, that is good. And, you know, a part of that getting out of your comfort zone is we have to really believe who God says we are.
We do.
And if it starts on the inside, you know, you cannot, again, I think this is that comparison, you know, well, I may not dress like someone else, or I may not have a team of people, or I may not have, you know, a certain level of education, or I may not have the resources that I need. But sometimes it's just, you know what, I'm going out here and I'm just going to take what I do have,
Right.
because
Use
there's
what you
somebody
have.
else that may not have you as little as you think you
Exactly.
have. There's somebody else that may not even have that much. And so whatever it is that you have today,
Yes.
everybody had to start somewhere. So when you see authors that have, you know, 5 books, 10 books, they're doing all these tours and everything. Well, they had to start with the first one.
Exactly.
And so you can't get 10 of something if you don't have 1 of something. So if you see business owners and people that are speaking on different platforms, and well, they had to start somewhere.
That's right.
And you know, I look at the Diva Den in that same light, and I'm like, it may not go beyond this. I don't know. I'm not really worried about, you know, where we're going to be in 5 years, or, you know, even next month. I take it week by week. I'm having a wonderful time, you know, doing it. I'm, you know, having conversations that I hope are necessary and that, you know, people are enjoying, and I'm having a good time. You know, if it ends, if today is the last one, I can say it was a good run because I did something that was in some ways out of my comfort zone, you know, in this format. You know, this is different, but I love talking to people. You know, I could sit and talk to people all day long. I am a people person. Like, I'm not the one that wants to work in a cubicle somewhere and never have to interact. I had a job kind of like that at one point when I switched things up, and it was terrible. I wasn't in my lane. I need the interaction of other people. And so, you know, being here is kind of like every week I'm terrified all over again.
Girl, you don't have to tell me.
Is anybody going to, you know, come in? Are we
Yes.
going to see, you know, that one person
Yes.
watching, you know, and the numbers each week, they fluctuate, but that's okay.
It is
Even if
okay.
it were just us here having the conversation, we can learn from each other. We can encourage one another. We can help empower one
Yes.
another. And at the end of the night, if nobody else, you know, was here, we can say, girl, we had a good time, and shame on them because they missed it, and they
That's
can catch
right.
the replay.
That's right.
But I thank God that every week y'all show up and support, and I really do appreciate that, and I don't take it for granted. And so, you know, get out of your comfort zone. If there's something that you know you have a desire to do, there's something that you're passionate about, that thing that you just can't seem to let go. You know, it's always kind of sitting right there on your shoulder, and everywhere you turn, that thing is always there, you know, that subject or a particular concern, you know, there's a need that needs to be met. That's the Lord speaking to you. He's keeping it in front of you, that this is what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to keep it in front of your face because I want you to see that this is still a need that has to be met. And so take the plunge, do it afraid. You heard Bernie say, you know, if you were in here earlier, you heard her say, she did it afraid. And a lot of times we're still doing things, you know, and we're afraid. I have 2 speaking engagements coming up in the next couple of months, and I'm nervous all over again. You know, every time my husband asks me to preach, or if I'm invited to a conference or a women's retreat or something like that. I went to one a few months ago, and it was just a very small group of women. You would have thought it was like 10,000 in that room. But I think it was because it was small, everybody was like right there. So, you know, you can see their facial expressions and their body language. And it's like, okay, am I boring them? Because, okay, why y'all over there chit-chatting? I'm up here talking. I'm sharing some good stuff with y'all. Y'all need to be paying attention, you know. But it's not about that, because maybe those 2 or 3, maybe it wasn't for them. But the rest of them, you know, they were engaged. And, you know, I think they were having a good time. The feedback was that, you know, they enjoyed, you know, my session and everything. But that's just that inner voice, you know. We are our worst critics. Yes, we have to shut that voice down. Be like, ugh. Yes. Not now. I don't have time for that. Okay? I don't have time for that. Not today. And so, and it's not even, you know, the devil, and, you know, we not even going to get on that right now. But sometimes it's just us. You know, they're going to look at you like you crazy. You don't know anybody here. Well, don't go sit over there. Well, they don't look friendly. Or, you know, you're not dressed like everybody else. Or, come on, get over yourself. Sometimes you just got to say, self, I am not here for it today. Yeah, I'll deal with you later.
But I don't know if you remember this, Rose. I remember having a dream about you. Do you remember me telling you that?
You did tell me that.
I remember having a dream about Rose. I used to come to their Easter services. And I saw her. God showed me her on a platform. She had on a white shirt. I don't know if it was all white because she was behind a podium. And she was speaking to millions and millions of people. And I think that I just can't wait to see that come to fruition.
Wow. Yes. Okay.
And as much as she says she's afraid, I love hearing her speak. And so it's interesting. You wouldn't think, because especially with us, we love to talk, that we
all day.
Well, no, and we've been on the phone and we have cried, and there's so much we have in common, and we don't talk every day. We don't see one another every day, but we there for one another.
Absolutely.
And I just can't. I'm just so proud of her. And when she told me she was doing the Diva Den, I was just super excited. I was like, oh, it's about to start. It's about to start. And I remember seeing her speaking. I think you had on a white shirt one time. I see you speak, but you were in like a stadium when I said you was like Joyce Myers. That's what it put me in the mind of in my dream when I was at the place where she was speaking.
Wow.
So I can't wait to see what God is going to continue to do in your life. And I'm just so proud of you. And so just keep doing it one day at a time. We're going to do it afraid. And we're going to do it together. We're going to do it together. Yeah. We're going to do it together.
Because in some of those conversations, or at least I know one in particular, you know, it was like it started out with one thing.
Yes.
And before we knew it, you know, we're encouraging each other, and tears are flowing, and you know, but we have history, right?
He preached. What was that at the leadership conference?
Yes,
we was like this. We had a
conversation. All up in our conversation. I'm like, Bernie, oh my God,
some kind
of
that
bad. Was a moment.
It was.
That was a moment. But God has to. God has to do that for us sometimes. You know, he has to give us those God moments. Sometimes it's a whisper, and sometimes it's like a roar. You know, it's like, I am talking to you. Like, girl, get your life. And it's like, we had that moment.
I was off one Friday. Rose called me. We talked. And I tell you, Bishop Jake said the same exact thing, like almost verbatim.
Yep.
That thing, we texted him. Did you hear?
Yes. It was like, oh my gosh, was he there? But no, TD Jakes wasn't there, but the Holy Spirit was there because he knows what's inside of us. And he was a part of that conversation because he resides, in us. Yes. But just to see how all of that played out, that was amazing. I'm going to say it was borderline scary in the natural. Yes. In the natural, because we don't always know how to process the move of God. Right. And so you kind of have to be in that moment for just a minute where it's like, ooh, okay. And then you kind of sit and rest in him like, okay. He got us. Oh, I know he's talking to me. Yes. Oh, God, I hear you, God. I hear you loud and clear. Yes. Me. Who am I preaching? Me. And Bernie. I don't know where she is. But it's like us. And for us, meeting when we were, in the 10th grade, I guess that was 15 years old. And now we're not 15 years old. Y'all
I'm 29.
Like that, don't you? Okay.
I like to say that.
But we've been a part of each other's journey. Yes. And like you said, it doesn't have to be, every day. We've had times when we weren't in communication, we are in communication, and we get to share. But we pick up the pieces just like we've been there the whole time. And that's genuine relationship. Yes. That's what being in relationship with someone is all about. And so, again, originally I had in mind for you to come and speak at a particular event, and that didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, well, she's gonna come in the Diva Den. I just didn't know it was gonna be calling you on one day and you were gonna be here the next day. See why she throw me under the bus? Didn't I already say I called her yesterday?
It's okay.
So are there any closing thoughts that you would like to leave when it comes to us being empowered to move? Maybe there's somebody that's here tonight or will watch the replay and they're frozen and they can't take that initial step. Or maybe they tried and it didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go, and now they're paralyzed again. That fear has them frozen. Right.
So what I would say to you is first take a breath, breathe. And then if you need help, reach out to someone. And then believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself enough, then you will take that step and you ask God to show you. Take those steps, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's people out here that can help you. And just do it. That's all you have to do. Just take that step and do it, and do it afraid. I'm here to help you. If you need me, call me. I can help you take that next step, because I am your purpose pusher. That's what I do.
All right, I like that. Yes. Purpose pusher. I'm a purpose pusher. I need one of those in my life. Yes. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you to Miss Bernie. I know. We said it was going to go fast. I don't want Mr. Elev8 to shut the Diva Den down. I got to be obedient to the timeline. That's right. Thank you, Merle. Wow. She says, ladies, you're chosen by God. Don't allow fear to reside in your soul. You got this. Be confident in your assignment. I received that. Amen. Amen. Thank you for trusting the Diva Den. Absolutely. And you will be back, because we know there's so many more conversations, that we have to have. There is a particular one that is going to be a couple of guests in the studio. And so y'all stay tuned. As always, if you have any feedback for me, please shoot me an email. And our email is...
Don't do that.
InTheDivaDen@gmail.com.
Yes.
Woo-hoo. You can follow us. We're building that Instagram, profile and community. Eventually, I would like to go live, do the dual Facebook and Instagram. And Wes has some other things, lined up that we're trying to do. So y'all keep the Diva Den in prayer. On Instagram, we are the Diva Den Live. I have to look at my producer, because last week I had to write it down because she wasn't here. So I had to write it down and get my notes all together. That's so thank you. If you come in on the replay, you can still share it out. And just thank you for your time. And we hope that from today going forward, you are going to do something different. Stop being paralyzed and frozen. Stop letting that fear get the best of you, and be empowered to move. Because I'm doing it slowly but surely, and
I'm doing it slowly.
You are
but surely.
definitely doing it slowly but surely. But surely, that's the key. Don't worry about the slowly part.
Doing this.
Do the surely. So thank you, Tasha. And so be blessed and have a wonderful weekend. And Lord willing, we'll see you right back here next Friday at 7:30. Oh, actually, next Friday might be something a little different. So we'll see you soon. How about that? God bless. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.